I saw someone claim, maybe it was the Wall Street Journal, someone like that, that the cuts at Amazon had a lot to do with AI starting to
Yeah,
bite into the workforce.
yeah, that's true. I think the
I
same
don't
with
know.
Paramount. Okay. Yeah,
In
we're
what
starting to see
way?
a lot of that.
Because researchers are no longer needed?
Right. So the Paramount press release that came out today
Mm.
was, "Hey, we told you in August that we would be," or someone leaked, I guess, one of the firing emails or something, or maybe it's a combination of that in the press release. But basically, to their credit, I understand this. They're running a business, and they're saying, we warned you in August that we're going to be making substantial changes in the direction of the company to modernize certain things, and we're also looking at redundancy. So we've found 10% of the workforce that we can get rid of, and whatever. They said it much nicer than that. It was fine, and everybody
They
saw
got
it
a
coming.
screenwriter to do it, apparently. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
maybe they they drafted it with AI. That'd be ironic. But so a lot of these
Good.
jobs are, when they say redundancies, it's like, okay, a computer can be doing this now. A person doesn't need to do this. Graphic design, this is that, or whatever. And so I think a lot of it is that, and I think a lot of it at Amazon is also that. Yeah,
It's a lot of people, 30,000 people.
a lot of
And how
people.
many people at Paramount were being laid off?
I think it's 2,000 so far, and they have like 20,000 overall
And
employees.
does that include their entire corporate structure? That includes businesses outside
Yeah,
of just Hollywood, obviously.
yeah.
It's
According to
news
them, it's across the
divisions
board.
and things like that.
Yeah, it's across the board according to them. Now, if they succeed, and I think they will, in buying Warner Brothers, and by the way, the unions, the WGA over the weekend was so alarmed by this and think that it's going to go through that they let they let everybody know that they think that this is a problem, and they're going to probably seek legal help to see that it doesn't go through. I don't know if they have a snowball's chance in hell in succeeding with that. But they did let everybody know that they're against this merger, so they think it's going to happen probably. Um, but if Paramount succeeds in buying Warner Brothers, you're going to see a ton of people getting laid off because there's going to be redundancies for two studios. A lot of people are doing the same thing at each studio, and they can be overseeing both and put in
Okay.
overtime.
I think the Fed will lower interest rates in December. I think that because people are being laid off, one of the mandates the Fed has is to try to help employment. The way they can do that, supposedly, is by lowering
Yep,
interest rates.
that's right.
Now, having said that, of course, economics are a funny thing, complex to say the least, and it takes months to get an actual reaction to doing something in the corporate world and or in government. You don't affect a monetary change overnight. It takes months down the road. So maybe, just like people have been arguing, you in particular, about Trump's tariffs, you won't see the effect come into play maybe until the spring of this year. I don't know, but
Possible. Yeah,
statistically, you're going to see people getting laid off, obviously, and the
that's
Fed
a
will
good
have
point.
to take that into consideration.
Yeah, that's a good
But
point. You're
having
going to be
said
hearing
that,
more about layoffs right now and going to the end of the year than you probably will about tariffs, because the companies so far keep trying to keep a tamper on that. I
sure,
just meant that
yeah,
I think as inflation does rise, and it has been, then
no,
I think consumer spending goes down because they worry about their job security.
I
That's what I meant.
understand, and I
Yeah.
agree. I actually agree with that. So I'd say it's 60% chance they're going to reduce interest rates. 40%, and the lack of economic data because of the government shutdown. No one knows really what the hell's going on. They
Yeah.
don't really have any transparent
Right.
economic reports to look at now.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Good
bizarre.
times. Good times.
All right, here's another question for you. We tried this one out in the spring and we were wrong. I believe I was wrong. Do you think there's any chance in hell that there will be a peace treaty between the Ukraine and Russia by March of 2026.
I don't think so. I know they keep talking about it, and he wants his Nobel Peace Prize and all that other stuff, but I don't see how that's going to happen. And I keep thinking that you know it's so important to Putin that he claim victory that it could be life or death to him. Maybe that's how he's thinking. I don't know. But it makes me wonder about all this other stuff worldwide that's going on, like sending aircraft carriers towards Venezuela and all this other stuff. I want to know how this is all interconnected. I'm really curious about it. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it
I
seems
was
like
just
there's a
about
lot
to
of
say,
weird coincidences happening right now.
yeah, I don't want to. I'm not a big conspiracy person. And
Me neither.
actually, I'm not a conspiracy person at all. Having said that, I don't think Russia and the Ukraine will find an agreement by March.
Yeah. I don't
There's
know how they
something
would.
going on under the surface. There's some reason why Russia refuses to give up this fight. I don't think it's just about territory on the eastern front of the Ukraine that they want to have. Now, you have a good point. Is Putin in so much trouble he has to maintain this facade of being strong? He has, in the past week, tested a new warhead. They claim it was successful. And there were reports. I don't know if they were from the Wall Street Journal, but they were from a reputable news source saying that Russian subs have definitely been deployed in the North Sea
Yep. I read that same thing. I think it
and
was in the
that
Wall
they're
Street Journal.
tactically armed
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. And nobody knows why. That's curious about that too. I was wondering if you were going to bring that up.
So they're playing poker. They're playing poker, and it's a high stakes poker. And maybe if we let the mafia run the tables, there would be a good outcome. But I don't think that's part of this.
It's the Russian mafia. It is part of it. It's just the Russian
Yeah.
mafia.
Well, the Russian mafia is pretty tough. I wouldn't want
Yeah.
to play with them. I wouldn't
No,
want to
no,
play
no.
with them.
I don't want to play with any mafia.
All right. Here's my question now, because the New York City mayoral election will be on the 4th of November. How badly will Mamdani win this race? By that, I mean, is he going to win by a margin of more than 5%, more than 10%? Or is this thing actually going to be close? Or do you actually believe there's an upset in the making and that Cuomo will win the race?
I used to be saying that. Remember, I kept
I
saying no.
know
I
you
think it's
used
going to be
to.
Cuomo. People will wise up, but it doesn't seem like it. I think that I don't know. I can't see him winning more than 5% over, like 55 to 45. But I don't know. I'm out of my league here.
I think Mamdani's going to win. And I think it will be closer than people suspect, but I think he'll win by 4%.
Yeah. Okay.
And that would be significant.
Yeah.
The question is, and I
Yeah.
don't know
5
the
or
inner
less. Yeah.
workings, I don't know the inner workings of the New York Council. Okay.
Hmm.
I know it a little bit better in Chicago. Can the New York City Council people actually block Mamdani from doing certain things? Can
You mean like
they?
guardrails for keeping him in
Yeah,
check?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like a legislative branch compared to the executive branch.
Yeah. I
I
don't know.
mean,
I mean,
it's
there's got to be some guardrails in place there. Obviously, you have the courts. You have advocates for people on both sides of the political spectrum, willing to launch lawsuits if any overreach happens. But
mm,
I don't know what the city council itself is made up as in terms of
yeah, I
conservative or
don't know
liberal.
either anymore. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, I know there are like Chicago, New York City mostly has Democrats within their
Hmm.
city councils. But that does not mean, as you pointed out, like Los Angeles, a lot of politicians within these city councils are actually quite conservative, but they register as Democrats because that's the only way they can get elected. I don't know what those percentages are in New York. I know in Chicago, you have plenty of councilmen that they call them aldermen in Chicago, by the way, who are quite conservative. Now, in New York, I don't know how that works. I don't know. what the status is compared to other places. But this guy really worries me. Really worries me. And if you don't like Trump now, you better really hope that Mamdani is not able to do some of the things he's spoken about, because it will only help Trump over the next 6 months. It gives him too many talking points. I mean, it's bizarre. Let's talk about
Right.
Bitcoin here. I said that in September, Bitcoin would be around 125,000 because I've been wrong consistently. I have thought it's going down. Having said that, in early October, it actually went up to 126,000 before falling to about 104,000. Now it's back up to 111, 113, 115, 110. Right now it's at 111. Here is my question. Are people just bored of Bitcoin? Are you
That's
bored of hearing about it? Does it really
interesting.
even matter anymore?
That's a great question, actually. I think there is a degree of that going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people are looking at speculative assets. They want things to go up. They want things to go down because they want to make money. It's gambling.
Yeah, it
They
is.
don't
It's
want to
legalized
tell you
gambling.
that.
Yeah, it is. It's gambling.
But so people, I think, are literally bored of Bitcoin. And because of that, I think Bitcoin has problems now coming up. Because
Could be.
why
Yeah.
own it? Why own
Yeah.
it? You can
I
bet on
don't know. I've
Nvidia.
never
You can bet
understood.
on gold.
Right. Gold took a dive.
Yes, it did. Speculative forces. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly, it's under
Right.
$4,000 an ounce again. Now, right as of this show right now, let's see, gold is at 3,945. Just to let
Okay.
you know. And silver went down too.
What's it down to
That
now? Is it
that
20?
was easy to predict about.
Right. We did
Uh,
predict that a few weeks
yeah,
back.
I mean, the silver, it was just completely crazed. Let's see. Silver, I believe, is probably around $46 right now. We shall see. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Mamdani presenting it to me, by the way, just to let you know. Okay. $7.67 as it's being traded. It will
What
be
was the high? It was
closed in,
56, wasn't it? A few weeks back?
yeah,
Like that. It was mid
54,
50,
55, something like
something
that.
like that.
And then the Hunt brothers ghost came in and said, no more. That's it.
Right.
Let's lower the price for the next 40 years again. Push it back down to $8 an ounce.
The day that we recorded that and we were talking about the price of silver, later that afternoon, my wife, we were trying to move an old antique piece of furniture out of our garage and give it to our daughter into a new house. And it was an old sewing table, and we started opening the drawers and exploring. There's still stuff in there from whoever owned this. I don't know if it was my wife's mother
Yeah, well,
or
you guys found
some
stuff in
neighbor.
your walls, as I
Yeah,
remember,
that's a
of your
different thing. Oh,
house.
yeah, it's either the sewing table was owned by my wife's mother before she passed away and used it 50 years ago, or it was the
Oh,
next door neighbor who did have all the stuff in the walls. And
unbelievable.
but yeah, weird. But in one of the drawers, I found a solid silver dime, and I'm like, wow, I'm rich now. It's all silver. This is worth $55 an ounce. And now I'm poor again. The Risk Reward Show is a co-production of Angry Meditators and Leitmotiv Press. It's produced by Scott Summer and Robert Petrucci, and engineered by Scott Summer and Sagi Mizri. Music is by All Good Folks, a group of composers based in London. You'll find us wherever you get your podcasts, as we're everywhere, like the gods we are.